Welcome. Today is a very blissful day as today along with us are mathematics scholars. So we, the mathematics scholars, together with the Vedic mathematics teachers, will be initiating for interaction to have an exposure to jurisprudence of mathematics. Jurisprudence of mathematics as a discipline is being taken up at its initial start with foundation concept that mathematics is a product of mind. Then with this initial step, taking mathematics as a product of a mind, we will be sequentially exposing ourselves to reach at the vision to which this our initiation will ultimately take us to. As the orientation course of Vedic mathematics teachers, we are in chase-2, and today it will be a step 4. This step 4 is going to be pairing format for formats pairing. This as such, for a proper continuation, we will see that the chase-2 is a values and formats chase. As chase-1, we were at the formats and we had been through 5 formats: 5x5 vinculum, 5x5 grid, grid within grid, and 2 faces of surface. In chase-2, we initiated with pairing of numerals or number values 1 to 9 with 1 to 9 spaces. Then we had a step ahead, reached at pairing choices. From pairing choices, we reached at pairing frequency, and today we are at pairing format for formats pairing. These terms, these concepts, as these are being put in their lively available terminology as it is, and we are taking it that all what is being said, all what is being done, all what is being processed, or what is being visualized is a phenomenon of a mind. Therefore, mathematics, like all other disciplines of knowledge, is essentially a product of mind. Let us now see how the Vedic mathematics, our ancestors' wisdom as product of mind, has reached at a very, very delicate comprehension as to how the dimensions axes synthesize. So basically it is that when we are having, say, a 3-dimensional frame of triple axes, say x, y, and z, then x itself is a line or a one-space body or a one-space content lump manifesting and expressing like this. The concept which is being taken up today for mental chase, for comprehension, is as to how this axis alone, if is of value 1, then how the pair of axes, these pair of axes will take us to value 3, then the triple such x's will take us to value 6, and the quadruple such values will take us to value 10, and so on. And it on the face of it will help us appreciate it is going to be 1 and 1 plus 2, then it is 1 plus 2 plus 3, then it is going to be 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4. So when we are here, then it looks very easy to appreciate how this sequential progression is there. Here we are taking first count, then here we are taking pair of values, then we are having the triple values and quadruple values, and we are reaching at, and then it becomes very easy to appreciate that when there is a linear dimension, 1 in number gives a value 1. When we are having a linear dimensions, 2 in number, it gives a value 3. When there are linear dimensions, 3 in number, these give value 6. And there are linear dimensions, 4 in number, give value 10. And like that, at next step, we will add 5 to it, get 15. And this way, we can see that we are reaching at this particular sequence, and we designate it and name it as synthesis values of linear dimensions or linear axis. So single linear axis gives us value 1, pair of values gives us value 3, triple give us value 6, and quadruple give us value 10, 5 gives us value 15, and so on. Now we will reaching at that how we are actually having this synthesis phenomenon, or how Vedic mathematicians or our ancestors or the ancient wisdom had reached at this, and of what wider implications this phenomenon is going to be. But before that, let us take it as it is, accept it as it is for the present. A step ahead, let us see that as we have a spatial dimension, that means two space in the role of a dimension. When we have a pair of such dimensions, and then a step ahead when we are having triple such dimensions, step ahead when we will be having quadruple such dimensions, then the Vedic mathematics conclusion, ancient wisdom conclusion, Vedic mathematics synthesis phenomenon, the mathematics of synthesis of spatial dimensions is leading us to value 2, 4, 6, 8, and so on. Let us have a pause here that in respect of the linear dimensions, the value comes to be as 1, 3, 6, 10, and in case of spatial dimensions, values comes to be 2, 4, 6, 8, and so on. This also be taken for the present as it is. Why it is so taken, what is the logic behind it, what is the mathematics behind it, how it will work, how it would be applied, and how we'll see, and there is a continuity from here, this step to this step. For the present, let us hold that let us take it as it is, that linear synthesis values are 1, 3, 6, 10, and spatial dimension synthesis is 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Then let us take a further. This also be for the present to be presumed, that let us have a first table of the synthesis values of the linear dimensions. Then at the next in below, parallelly, let us have the synthesis values of the spatial dimensions. These both results are being written simultaneously. And then let us take it that here there is the difference value is 1, or we can call it a minus 1. Here also let us take it is minus 1. Here it is a value 0. Here is a value 2. Means when 2 is subtracted from 1, then it comes to be this. 4 is subtracted from 3, it gives us minus 1. 6 is subtracted from 0, it gives us value 0. 8 is subtracted from 10, it gives us value 2. And step ahead, here will be 15. and here will be 10. We'll see it comes to be 5. And step ahead 21 and 12, the value will be 9. Let us also take it. It is a feature. If we are accepting this without proof or while holding further inquiry of the logic behind or the reason behind or why it is so taken when we are holding it but accepting it. Once we accept this, then from this pair of information we will be reaching at this straightway as that it is going to be that the difference values of the consecutive steps means the value of the pair of a single spatial dimension and single linear dimension difference, then pair of spatial dimensions and pair of linear dimensions difference, pair of triple dimensions, spatial and linear, quadruple spatial and linear, then 5 spatial linear, and so on. It comes to be. Let us have a further pause here and let us see that where this difference sequence is leading us to. We'll see that the difference between this and this is going to be 0. Difference between this and this is going to be 1. Here the difference is 2. Here the difference is 3. Here the difference is 4. So naturally, when we will go a step ahead and reach at this difference, then we will see that here when it will come, it will lead us to value 5. This for the present we have presumed. This also for the present we have presumed. Then by difference we have reached at this step, and further by having the consecutive differential difference or sequential increase, we'll see it leads us to, and step ahead when we will have a further difference, it will be 1. Here it itself will be 1. Here itself will be 1. Here itself will be 1. And it will be 1. That means throughout there are going to be a difference 1 and 1. And at the next step, when we will reach it, we'll see the difference is going to be 0, 0, 0, 0, and so on. Now see, this presumption that the linear axis synthesize, so single linear axis gives us value 1, the pair of axis gives us 3, triple gives us value 6, quadruple will give us 10, and so on. And then further presuming that when we have a spatial dimensions, means 2 space in the role of a dimension, then this will be taking us to 2, 4, 6, and 8. Once this pair of information, this sequence information and this sequence information are for the present accepted as it is, we will be coming to it afterwards. What is the logic behind it? What is the basis of it? And how this reach by the ancestors, ancient wisdom, Vedic mathematics, Vedic mathematical systems, Vedic knowledge, Vedic comprehension, Vedic processing steps, Vedic vision of the existence phenomenon, and the Vedic way to approach the existence phenomenon of creation, manifestations, transcendence, self-referral, unity, and all further steps of our solar universe, of our existence phenomenon, are being laid, worked out, chased along these pair of foundations. But taking it as these are, we see after this we are sequentially reaching at that the difference, first step difference gives us -1, 0, 2, 5, 9. Then the further sequence consecutive difference gives us -1. This row gives 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. At the next step comes to be 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. Next steps comes to be 0, 0, 0, 0. Therefore, this reach first, second, this is going to be third, this is going to be fourth, and this is going to be the fifth. And let us take it that this is initial presumption is sixth. Therefore, in these 6 steps, the reach is ultimately going to be at the uniform reach. Now let us see that we are having zeros. And these zeros as well are the entities. Accept it, these are the sets. A set with a single zero, set with a single zero, set with a single zero. Then this feature of a set of a single zero as a single entity leading us to cardinality 1, and therefore each of these single entity sets will accept an association of values 1, 1, 1 and 1. Now let us see further that if this 0 means a point, this is a point of a line. If it is a point of a line, and then we'll say that this point is taken as leading us to 0 length. So point of a line is of a 0 length. So the value 0 stands attached with this particular point of a line, or otherwise this is a point which is filled with the structures of a line. So a point of a line or point fulfilled with the structures of line. So this constituent of a line. So it is of a 0 length. Likewise, this point of a square, point of a surface, giving us a 0 area. So this 0 area point or a point filled with the structures of a square or point as a constituent of a square. A step ahead, this is a point of a cube. It is of a 0 volume. Again, it is of a 0 hypervolume 4. It is a 0 hypervolume 5. It is a 0 hypervolume 6. So we see that these structures of a line, square, cube, hypercube 4, hypercube 5, hypercube 6, we are having these 6 bodies. Now these 6 bodies are leading us to the length, area, volume, hypervolumes. Now this length, area, volume, hypervolumes are taking it to be the volumes or the content parts or the domain part as the names are. So these domains, so 1 space domain, this is going to be 2 space domain, 3 space domain, 4 space domain, 5 space domain and 6 space domain. What this actually means it is a 1 space content lump manifesting as a line, 2 space content lump manifesting as a square or a area, the 3 space content lump manifesting as volume of a cube, 4 space content lump manifesting as the volume of hypercube 4. So this essentially takes us to the content, space content. That space content, when it has a only single direction, it becomes a 1 space content. When it is a 2-fold flow, it becomes a 2 space content. When it becomes a 3-fold flow, it becomes a 3 space content, and the 4 space and 5 space. Essentially, it is going to be a space content. This space content, when is taken at its 0 value, then it becomes a point. And once this becomes a 0 value, it takes us to this, and it also gets an association of values 1. From here, it is going to be a blissful thing that we know that 0 takes to 0 plus 0 and 0 cross 0. In each case, the 0 is equal to 0 plus 0, and 0 is also equal to 0 plus 0, and 0 is also equal to minus 0. Therefore, here is a feature which is attached with the value 0, and 0 is being taken as an entity. It is associated a count, and this 0 value is taken as a constituent of 1 space, 2 space, 3 space, 4 space, 5 space, 6 space. So essentially there is a space with us, and that space is having a content, and then content comes at a 0 level. So it is that way there is an inherent fundamental unity of this working and this reach steps. One shall sit comfortably, permit the transcending mind to be face to face with these reach steps. In fact, these are very big steps. These are chain of steps, and in fact these are very big chain of steps. However, for the present, these be taken as these are elaborated in these steps only. So these things being expressed in these steps only be taken for the present. Now, taking this as a background, now let us see that if we are having points, we can see these are discrete points, and these discrete points can be set on a line. Therefore, these all are having zero length everywhere. However, this discrete number of points, when they make a line, then we can say it is a format. Line is a format along which the zero values are being placed, and these zero values are discrete. Now these discrete values are being given a continuum format. Therefore, how these discretes are making a continuum, or other way, how the continuum format as a base, how the base, continuum base here of a interval helps us to carry forward the infinite number of the zeros, means the discretes. So infinite discretes can be placed, can be provided a base of a continuum, and then these can be carried. So these discretes are made in a formatting situation that these can be carried together. So infinite discretes are being carried together without disturbing their placement and their sequence, and so their structure. So the structures of the discretes are made intact, are permitted to be remain intact, and with this intact, this continuum is provided, and this makes us to a zero space, taking us to a one space. And the further we know that the lines themselves as discretes, these discrete lines will have their placement in a surface, or they can be provided two space continuum as a base, and discretes are these lines. So ones are the discretes which are provided to the base of value 2. So like zeros being carried by 1, or points being carried by a line, here the lines would be carried by a surface. It takes us to a phenomenon of infinite points. That means infinity is being provided a base of a line as a 1. As such, it is infinity which becomes a 1, which also accepts a unit 1, a count 1. So like zeros, we are now having a set with a single infinity. So set with a single infinity is again taking us to a situation which also accepts a count as a 1. Like zeros, the infinity as well is accepting association of a value 1. Once we are here, once we are reached here, then let us see how the Vedic systems are accepting that when points are carried by an interval and the intervals are carried by a surface, then it would amount to that infinite infinities are being accommodated as points of a surface. The reach is that from point we reach at infinite points, which makes a line, a interval. Then interval itself has a point being of a zero area. So here a zero area, and there are infinite such zero areas. So it again becomes nothing but a set of points of a surface. So points of a surface, as these are ultimately becoming the setup, a format of infinite infinities. It is this concept which is being availed, worked out by our ancestors, ancient wisdom, ancient mathematicians, the Vedic mathematicians are working it out, and the steps are like this. Let us have this as the origin. From here, let us have a axis, and we say it is having n points. So one point is being placed at the origin, and one point is taken going to be at the end reach point. So in between there will remain, say, n minus 2 point. So this is a axis or a set of n points. So set of n points, 2 points get fixed. Now if we have a second axis, there will be n points. 1 point again at the origin will make 0 plus 0 and 0 cross 0. That means it will be taking us, that value remains the same. However, 1 point gets absorbed here, gets fixed here, and 1 is the end point. Here would be n minus 2 points. Now see, if this vacuum is not to be there, if we have to fill it up, we have to structure out, as the aim of the axis is, what the axis do, they make the domain. So this total reach is to be of n points, and the here filling is required by n minus 2 points. Now let us see. We started with the first axis with value n. We had a second axis of value n again. So we have now at the first axis only value n. At second axis we have this number of points. However, out of it n minus 2 points stand consumed, utilized to fill this gap. Now therefore, as a net result, what remains with us is n plus 2. As such, it becomes a value, as that a single axis of n order of n space gives us a value n. The pair of axes will as such lead us to value n plus 2. And this success starts flowing. When we'll have a third axis, then it would be reached here. Naturally, these are the n points available extra. However, we have to fill gap twice. This gap is to be filled, and this gap as well is to be filled. Therefore, here at the third stage, when we will have an additional availability of value n, then we know out of it we have to, firstly, from here we will be reaching at value this, and thereafter we have to accommodate what? 2 times n minus 2. And here when we will reach it like this, we'll see it gives us value 6 only. It is here where we are reaching that when we are having a single axis n, it takes us to a pair of axes n plus 2, and a triple axis gives 6. Let us see, if we put value 1, it becomes 1. But value 1, pair gives us 3. When put 3, it gives us 3. So this is following. As such, when we put a value 2, it gives us value 2. Then it gives us 4, it gives us 6. See, this reach, which we had initially presumed, when we had said, let us for the time being accept it as it is. Now, let us accept it in this background, that the ancient wisdom, Vedic mathematicians, Vedic mathematics, Vedic knowledge, Vedic systems or handling infinite infinities. And these infinite infinities are being handled as dimensional spaces. So whole range of dimensional spaces are being simultaneously worked out. And the beauty is that the axes, the dimensional frames are having synthesis dimension wise. So each dimensional frame will be, when we have a single dimension, give us value 1. When a pair of dimension, it will give us value 3. When we have triple dimension, give us value 6. And step ahead will continue, it will this. That means what ultimately is being reached at is that the Vedic mathematics, Vedic system, ancient wisdom is the wisdom which has successfully observed the interaction of the mind with the existence phenomenon, has been of the order that the value truth of the existence phenomenon of our solar universe, existence phenomenon of the dimensional spaces stands comprehended. It is this comprehension of the mind of the existence of phenomenon has taken to a vision, to a achievement, to a result, to a formulation. And this formulation comes to be that the dimensional space 1 in the role of dimension, when we'll synthesize, will give us value 3, then 6, 10, and so on. When instead, when 2 space will be playing the role of a dimension, single dimension will give us this value, pair of dimensions will give us this value, triple dimensions will give us 6 values, quadruple will give us this value, and so on. Now, at next, we will be reaching at value 3, 5, 6, and a 6. But we have a halt here. We'll see the difference between this and this, and the difference between this and this remains the same. Difference here and here remains the same. Difference here and here remains the same. Difference here and here remains the same. Therefore, it becomes so handy, it becomes so straight, it becomes so simple, it becomes so blissful that we are simply handling that this sequence of values and this sequence of volumes in both. If we want to reach at the next, then simply we have to find the difference, and this difference is to be made like this. So we have this difference, it will take us here. It is this difference will take us here. This difference will take us there. And at a next step, when we want to reach at 4, we'll see that this value as well will be reached by applying the same difference to be attached. So between n dimension and n plus 1 as a dimension, and when a single dimension pair of such dimensions and the pair of such dimensions, the difference values in this sequential progression is going to be of this line. It is this feature, it is this value, it is this comprehension, it is this imbibing of the interaction of the mind with the reality of the existence phenomenon, which makes the ancient wisdom mathematics. It is the mathematics of interaction of a mind with the reality of the existence phenomenon. It is this value with which we have also to be parallel. So let us sit comfortably, let us permit the transcending mind to glimpse and imbibe the reality of the existence phenomenon, and to have an appreciation of the reach of our ancestors, reach of the Vedic mathematics, the reach of the synthesis phenomenon of the dimensional frames. So dimensional axes synthesize, and the synthesis can be of infinite steps. So one space has a dimension, pair of linear dimension, pair, triple dimension, so on infinitely can be reached at the values. Likewise, two space in the roll of dimension, then the pair of spatial dimension, triple dimensions will give us like that, n space in the roll of a dimension, and the pair of n dimensions, triple dimensions, so on give us, so n can have any value. And it will not only stop that it should have the positive values, it will have the values 0 as well, and also will have the values negative as well. So the negative dimensional spaces to the positive dimensional spaces, including the 0 space, the entire range is being worked out, and it is being worked out as per this comprehension of a human mind, this mathematics, this ancient wisdom. And it will again take us to the Ganita Sutra 1, which will be Ekadhikain Purvain, and then it from here, from this sutra, the first part Ekadhikain to a Purvain, we will reach at how the whole numbers ultimately make a particular range as a base for the entire number systems, and thereafter for all further features. As such, we can blissfully say that mathematics is a product of a mind. And in fact, mathematics is the healthy food of the mind itself. Therefore, mathematics is the phenomenon of interaction of mind with the nature, and the outcome is the mathematics. Thank you very much.